Maybe people don't talk about Dark Star because they shouldn't talk about Dark Star.
It is the future. Mankind has conquered the stars. He moves out to the endless interstellar reaches of the universe. Dark Star.
Dark Star was a student film. Started out as a student film when I was at USC and became a feature film. I partnered with Dan O'Bannon.
Here, boy.
And we made the movie. He played one of the roles. He was the production designer. I was producer, director, and co-writer. And we made that over a period of about 4 years and made it into theaters right here in Los Angeles, California. It was it was a science fiction comedy with amateur actors. And the one notable thing about Dark Star to me was that I got my first negative review in Variety on Dark Star. Now, at the time, you have to realize that I was dumb and young and naive. And I had dreams of Hollywood director stardom. And I remember sitting down at this cafe in Hollywood and opening the Daily Variety, and there was this scathing, excoriating review of Dark Star. And I thought, really? Really? Wow, this is a tough fucking business.
On Saturday, 6 members of the gang known as Street Thunder were ambushed by the police. On Sunday, the warlords of Street Thunder swore a blood oath to avenge their dead. It's the most shattering assault on a police station in history. Assault on Precinct 13.
This is the siege. It's a goddamn siege.
My first really theatrical film was Assault on Precinct 13. We shot it down in Raleigh Studios, it was called then. I don't know what it's called now. It's right across from Paramount. This old studio. And built a set there and shot it, most of it there. And then we went out down to Watts in South Los Angeles and shot there. I look at it now and, you know, look, I hadn't worked with Panavision before. I loved widescreen. That was my first outing with it. And it was slow. You know, it was a very deliberate movie with these slow pans. I think I'd speed it up now. I remember I was called a fascist back then for making that film. Oh yeah, fascist. And I remember we did really well in the British Film Festival. That's where my reputation started.
Hey, this is regular vanilla. I wanted vanilla twist.
One of the reviews said, this movie is an example of how not to make a thriller, and the man responsible is John Carpenter. It keeps me warm at night remembering that.
Halloween night. A small American town. 15 years ago.
I mean, making Halloween was, as you say, an effort on these young kids trying to put together a Hollywood movie in Panavision, make it scary. Well, Halloween was a regional release in '78, meaning there were just a few prints made. They were bicycled from town to town across the country. And we would get reviews trickling in from out there. And once again, the reviews were horrible.
Oh, okay.
Horrible. One of them said, John Carpenter has no talent with actors. I mean, really personal and attack reviews. Once again, I thought, well, geez, what am I missing here? And the movie was re-reviewed in The Village Voice, famously, and then it got re-reviewed by a bunch of reviewers. It's an odd thing about my career. It's this constant negative critical attack. And I suppose it's made me stronger. Maybe it's made me bitter. I hit my stride by the time Halloween came along. And for me, it wasn't as difficult as it was for everybody else, trying to get as much as we could out of the tiny budget we had. But Halloween came along at a great time. It was really fun to make. The cast and crew were having a great time making it. We just had a blast. We did work hard, but it wasn't as dire as some of the other experiences I've had.
What's the boogeyman?
As a matter of fact, it was.
Right after Halloween, I made a TV movie called Elvis. We had 30 days to shoot 3 hours of footage, and it's this massive story that took place over decades with all these period, 50s period and 60s period stuff going on. 150 locations, 88 speaking parts, and it was this huge script. And that was my baptism of fire. I just remember being so tired in that movie. I remember the glorious ending of the movie where Kurt's lip syncing to this stuff, and it really looked beautiful. I just fell asleep in dailies. Just went out. I was so exhausted.
John Carpenter's The Fog.
This is KAB, Antonio Bay. Stevie Wayne here, and let me be the first to wish Antonio Bay a happy birthday. We're 100 years old today, and keep a watch out for that fog bank heading in from the east.
We finished the movie, and I looked at it and I thought, this isn't good enough. It just isn't spooky and scary, and I wasn't being tough enough on myself. So we did reshoots, and I mean, I've done a lot of reshoots on movies, sometimes just inserts, sometimes whole sequences, sometimes new endings. And with hindsight, because like you say, hindsight is great stuff to have. Here I had this movie and I saw where it was weak. So I went back and tried to fix it. And luckily I did. The movie is much better than it was the first time through. Not a great film, but it's okay.
Producer Howard Hawks shocked the world with his science fiction thriller, The Thing. Now, the summer of 1982 has brought a new telling of this horror classic by director John Carpenter.
Fireplace rehearsal.
My version of The Thing was hated when it came out, especially by the fans. I can understand some of the critics because I had gone too far. But the fans, the only thing I can figure out is they thought I had raped the Madonna. That I had defiled a great classic somehow, and I had violated all the rules. The rules being that you don't ever show the thing. You keep it in the dark. I remember once this actress was lecturing me on how to shoot a monster movie. She said, never show, in this thick Italian accent, never show the devil. Well, if you got a great devil, show it. At one point we were finishing up the special effects, and we were doing a shooting over at Rob Bottin's facility over in the valley.
This is made out of fiberglass, and this one is not finished being painted. It is one of the victims of the thing that we did not use. This wasn't used in the movie. And this is what they look like when they are finished. And this has the gloss on it, and there's a lot of detail. The veins, false eye from the optometrist, false teeth, a tongue, worms and all that stuff. But this is not the final effect. This is not what it looks like in the movie. But we have to go out of our way to make this look real, so we have to work with lights and the camera and bounce lights off of mirrors and things like that to make it look absolutely perfect. And I concocted a couple extra scenes. Kurt came and did a scene on the radio. He's trying to contact somebody. And I shot one shot of him sitting and in this, I don't know, very lonely location room, basically. And I was thinking of, okay, this is him after he's survived. And he's sitting at McMurdo Sound, and you're hearing radio traffic about how all the forces are moving in on Outpost 32. I thought, well, I better have this in my back pocket, just to see if we needed it. And I never used it.
I suppose I could have. It'd be a long dissolve, and there he'd be. But it seemed right to me to make this down ending, down and uncertain ending.
Much more of a mind violence in what I would consider a real ultra John Carpenter fashion. He really sets it up and then lets your imagination do a lot for you.
At the time, we previewed the thing for audiences, and that's what they hated. They hated the uncertainty. Audiences hate uncertainty. They want you to tell them. And I remember I did this focus group, and this young lady stood up and said, well, which one is the thing in the end? And I said, I don't remember what kind of answer I gave her, but it just wasn't satisfying. She wanted to know. And so, you know, that's part of the reason it wasn't a hit. It was an ending that left you, Now, I thought it left you with a chill, but what did I know?
Why don't we just wait here for a little while? See what happens.
There was a Dark Horse limited edition comics in the 80s of the thing. And I thought that'd make a great sequel. It starts with Childs and McCready walking across the snow. And then up out of the ice comes a submarine. And they get aboard, and it just further adventures of these two guys. And which is one of them infected. And it was great. It was just fabulous. That's what I would have done.